Benjamin Cross. I go by Ben, he, him, and I'm an operatic tenor.
Very nice. And this is your first year with Mission Opera, correct?
That's right, very first production of Mission.
Wonderful. Are you currently in school, or?
I went to USC. I graduated with a Bachelor of Music in Vocal Arts in 2021. So I've been out of school for a couple years now.
That's awesome. So you're in the role of Little Bat.
That's right.
So tell me a little bit about what makes Little Bat Little Bat.
I think what's funny about Little Bat is that, he's kind of set up as this tenor romantic lead for Susannah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like kind of following in the operatic tradition, except he's everything you don't want in a tenor romantic lead. He's spineless. He's a coward. He is very, very submissive. He's the exact opposite of Rodimus and Aida. And, I think he kind of serves to highlight Susannah's strength of character, in contrast to Little Bat. So yeah. I think that's been very fun to explore and dig into.
And it's really fun as tenors, because most people expect tenors to be small, little, dainty things like that, and both of us are rather big guys.
Yes.
So it's really fun to have that juxtaposition, especially with the tenor being so timid and spineless.
Definitely. I mean, there's also just kind of the humor that comes in any scene that I'm with Susannah. Because Megan, who's playing Susannah in my cast, is significantly shorter than me. Mm-hmm. And yet it's extremely clear at all times when we're on stage together that she's the one who holds 100% of the power in our relationship.
Yeah, that's awesome. What would you say is one of the hardest parts about putting on a show like this today?
I think I really appreciate that as a dramatist. It's very, when you look at the score by Carlisle Floyd, Floyd has written in so many stage directions and so many ideas and fills in a lot of the subtext for you as the performers to then try to render on stage. And I think that's what's challenging about it, is it really challenges the opera singer to be an actor as well.
Awesome. What would you say has been your favorite part so far about this whole process?
Honestly, I just have really I've enjoyed meeting all of the wonderful people involved in Mission Opera, and also just learning the music and learning this piece. I was not familiar with Susannah before I was, before I got cast in the role and started learning it. And as I was learning it, I was like, it's really fun to sing.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's been a while since I've found music that's this fun to sing. And getting to sing in English and also in a southern twang dialect, I think that's very unique. You don't get to do that a lot as an opera singer.
Hey, it's Art Miller here. I'm playing the role of Sam here in Susannah.
And remind me, is this your first time with Mission Opera?
Yeah, this is my first time. Josh and I have, talked and met, and I think we met about 2 years ago, and we've sort of partnered up now, and I'm the drama teacher at Canyon High School, where a lot of the performances take place. So Susannah came around, and Josh felt there was a role I should look into. So that's why I'm doing Sam right now.
So Sam actually isn't on stage a whole lot, but he seems to have one of the most important parts of the show.
He's a driving force in moments. I think because of him, obviously, there's stakes that get raised because of his choices. No question about it. But he's definitely an outsider within this community. So to me, it only makes sense that he's kind of isolated from the rest of this cast. And then, of course, in the final act, to me, just the big moments of knowing what he's capable of doing because of what's happened to his sister. So it all really has a very logical sense to it. Yeah, definitely.
But a lot of this stuff is difficult for those who are used to more classical operas.
Sure.
Tell me a little bit about how you started to tackle this.
I mean, for me, I do enjoy, on many levels, these types of pieces. In my previous life, when I was doing this a little bit more, I got really comfortable with a lot of those contemporary composers, if you want to call a word for it, name a word for it, contemporary, where it's not your traditional structure of what we want to say is classical.
Yeah.
And it definitely does break away. For me, I look at it almost like truly like a piece of musical theater. When you look at musical theater stuff that's on the more modern side, you have these crazy rhythms and crazy patterns of vocal work that have to take place in a lot of the writing. At the same time, there's places where it reminds me of Bernstein or Copland and those greats as well. So I think of it as just a fun opportunity to dive into something.
Oh, absolutely. What would you say is your favorite part of the show?
Honestly, not a part I'm in. No, my favorite part is probably when Blitch comes to see Susannah, and she...
The heavy part.
Yeah, the heavy part. I like the heavy parts. When he comes to see her, and she submits to him, I guess. That whole big sequence, that's my favorite.
Is there anything that you would have the audience look out for or say, hey, pay attention to these parts in the show to really help them get through this? Because it's a lot and it can be kind of hard to follow at points.
I think just letting it be that this piece is sort of a slice of life. That's the way I kind of look at it. At the same time, it is a melodrama. It is big. It's bold. But at the same time, these are just people as well. I don't necessarily look at it as that these are good or bad people, that they are just people experiencing joys and sorrow within this little pocket of time. And you can definitely, as an audience member, dislike a character for their choices or their actions, but I think what we're watching is just human nature unfolding on stage. And then, of course, because it's opera, it gets to be even bigger and grander because of it.
Yeah.
And that's what makes opera so much fun.